Sit up nice and tall through the spine. Close your eyes. And from this seat, welcome yourself to this time for practice in your home, in your space, and together. For those joining live, and we have you here for those joining on recording as well. I was just saying, this is the fifth Sunday of the month. I always see it as a little bit of a bonus time to visit this month's sequence 12 one more time. Catch the highs, the lows, the in-betweens, see how it's working for you. And within that, the word of the day is river. I'll share this quick paragraph. I have learned to look at life like a river. It constantly flows. There are bumps and rapids, times you have to put all of your power into keeping your face out of the water long enough to gasp a breath, trying not to get pulverized against the rocks. Then there are calmer days when you drift past lovely scenery, sharing laughter and happiness with the people you love. See your river as it flows today. Next breath, open the eyes, reach the arms up to the sky. Look up. Lower the right hand down, exhale and side bend. Inhale, lift both arms up. Exhale, lower the second hand down, side bend. Inhale, lift both arms up. Take the palms together, center of your chest, taking a good look again at intention and flow for this practice. And let's come on over to all fours. Right into cat and cow. Move the spine back and forth. Stay with your cat and cow several rounds. Next, inhale, come to a neutral spine. Flip your hands out or all the way around, 90 or 180 degrees in turn. And lift your right leg up and back. Point the toe, really contain strength in the full line of the leg, and add little pulses of the right leg higher. Easing into a warmth in the glutes and hamstrings there for us. Keeping hands as is, pull the right knee into the chest, round the back like cat pose. And set the knee down. Do the second side. If it's feeling a little too long to hold the hands out or around, change them and keep adding the legs. Little pulses. And then pull the left knee in, round the back. This is an awesome stretch, containment in the core, stretch in the hands. Though if you spend a lot of time typing, you won't want to stay there too long. Little doses throughout your day, always a good thing. Change and go to downward facing dog. Here in down dog, pedal out your feet. Lift your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. And step it all the way forward to your low lunge. Come up to high lunge. Stretch your arms to the sky. Square off the hips. Think right hip back, left hip forward. Big, full, enjoying the lift. Lower the left hand down. Keep the right hand up. Take it into the twist. And then step back to plank position. Hover above the mat, low push-up. Stay right there, hover right there. One more breath. And push back up, high plank. I'm using my knees to help that transition. Downward facing dog. Lift the left leg high, three-legged dog. And step it through to your lunge. Keep the feet hip distance apart so balance is a little easier as you lift all the way upright. Arms to the sky. Turn the palms in towards each other. Again, enjoy the lift. And then take right hand down, left hand still up. Turn, twist through the torso. And step it back to plank. Hold low plank, toes or knees. Hover right there. And now lie it all the way down to your mat. Interlace the hands behind your back and lift up. If that interlace of the hands is a little too intense right now, keep the hands open. You'll have time. Release it all and go again to downward facing dog. Take the right hand to the left leg. You can hold high on the thigh or trace further down towards the ankle and twist more underneath the body the lower you reach the hand. Set the right hand down and do the exact same thing on the second side. Lift the left hand up. Hold on to your right leg, so you're first finding that balance. And then trace the hand lower down towards the outer ankle. Look under the right armpit. And lower both hands for down dog. Right leg goes back up into the air, three-legged dog. Step it all the way through. Low lunge. Both hands to the inside, down dog lunge. Spin the back heel down, walk the hands out. When we're concentrating on hips in particular, of course, there's lots of lunges in the practice. Really use these first opening lunges to find the depth that works, the strength that holds you in the poses today. Bring the hands back in, step it back through plank. Hover, low push-up. Drop it all the way down to your belly again. Interlace the hands behind your back and lift everything up. Hands open or closed. Heels apart or together. Lower it down, down dog. Left leg up and back. Step it all the way forward to your low lunge. Both hands to the inside, spin the back heel down, down dog lunge. Breathe here. You know this pose well. Open the front knee over towards the second and third toes. Push more weight into the back leg than the front. One more time through plank. Hover down. Onto the belly. One last time, interlace the hands, lift. Push it back to child's pose. Push hips way back towards the heels. Reach your arms actively out in front. Give it one more breath in this active child's pose. Then we go again to downward facing dog. Look forward to your hands and make your way to the front of the mat. Step, jump, walk. Stand up, mountain pose. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, lift both arms up to the sky. We're going for a side bend again. Cross at the thumbs or interlace the hands to make that even more doable. Reach both arms towards the right. Push your hips to the left. Come back across your center. Do it to the second side. Push the hips to the right, both hands to the left. Lean your head and shoulders back. And come back to the middle. Utkatasana. Bend the knees, sit into the thighs. And then drop the arms to just shoulder height. Sit an inch or two lower in the legs. Stick with this right here. Round your back, nose more towards your knees. We're doing it. And forward fold. Fingertips down to the ground. Fold over your legs. Keep the right foot forward. Step your left foot back into your lunge. Just like we started, upright. Lift the arms to the sky. Now add the side bend again, arms towards the right. Come back to the center, lower the hands down, switch your legs, a step or a jump, left foot forward, right foot back. Come upright, arms to the sky. Lean to the left, across the front thigh there. Side bend. And back to the center. Step forward, both feet to the front of the mat. Ragdoll pose. Hold on to your elbows. Be heavy. Bend the knees. Sway a little bit side to side. Push a few breaths out through the mouth. Make this a calming piece of your river just floating by. All right, big standing poses coming for us. Slowly roll up to standing. Shoulders up and back a couple of times. And shoulders forward and down. Take a wide stance. Face one of the long edges of your mat. Turn the right foot out, bend the right knee. Warrior two, extend the arms out in either direction. Good old warrior two. Steady, solid. I can always go through the next adventure, the next hard thing when I start from here. Warrior two. Take it in, a couple more breaths. And simply switch sides. Make the right leg straight. Turn the toes in. Turn the left toes out. Bend the left knee. Second side. Look out over the left fingertips. Feel free to keep a little bit of flow throughout. Some rise and fall. Almost a pulse in the body and the legs. Or stay more still. Excellent. Straighten the left leg, turn the toes in, go back to the first side, turn the right toes out, rebend the right knee. Now, cartwheel the hands down around the right foot. You're into a low lunge. Drop the left knee to the ground. Bring both hands to the hips. Lift the torso. Pulse the hips a little bit down and forward here. Squeeze the front heel back and the back knee forward as you do this. Squeeze in the glutes. Make the legs really work. Keeping the legs working, lift the arms up to the sky, straight up, or maybe even a little bit back, seeing what the back bend holds for you. Lower both hands down around the front foot. Pick up your back knee. Pyramid pose. Take a slightly shorter stance. For 2 straight legs, press the back heel down. Bring the hands up to the waist. Lift the torso enough that you can get those legs straight. Think spine long, so look out past your toes rather than straight down. And then send that long spine over your front leg. Slowly, slowly, slowly. For today, hands at the waist or down around the front foot, whichever works best. Press through your back heel, your front big toe a lot. Give it another breath right here. And then stand all the way up. So hands to the waist, if not already. Bring the torso upright and switch your feet around. So we're going to take that backwards on the second side, meaning starting with pyramid pose. So keep both legs straight in that slightly shorter stance. Get the right hip to turn all the way towards the left foot. And again, long spine, hinge forward. Second side always has the knowledge that the first side didn't. It knows what's coming. But we're switching up the order of the poses. See if that makes this side easier, harder, the same. Just take notice. Different for sure. All right, and for this side, drop the hands down if not already and move yourself into the low lunge. So bend the front knee, lengthen your stride. Drop the back knee down to the mat. Bring the hands to the front thigh, torso upright. Get stronger in the legs and add in the little pulses. Stay in a bit of the lower down and forward position, but with the hold of strength, isometric connection of the legs. Lift the arms up to the sky. Neutral or in more of an extended back bend. Lower the hands around the front foot. Pick up the back leg. Warrior 2, spin the back heel down. Come on, upright. Warrior 2. Straighten both legs. Turn the toes parallel. Now wide-legged forward fold. Reach down to the ground, head towards the mat. All right. Walk your hands back around to the front of your mat so you kind of make your way through low lunge just to transition and step back to downward facing dog. Paddle it out. Lift the right leg high, 3-legged dog, bend the knee, open the hip, and then make the big circles, knee down and around, and then up to the sky. Do it a couple of times. Switch the direction. And step the right foot all the way forward into your lunge. Bring the hands up to the front knee. Decide back knee up or down. Keep it up if it works. And add a deeper twist, left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. As you tone and turn through the abdomen, push the top hand down to your left hand to make the hands come more towards the chest and point the right elbow up to the sky. Untwist, hands go down, step back to plank. We're doing that hover each time today. Change to cobra now. Downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up and back. Bend the top knee. Open the hip. Work into the circles. We need hip strength. We need flexibility. We need mobility and range of motion. All four things. See them play together here in this practice. Move in the opposite circle if you haven't already changed. And then step left foot forward. Build the hands up to the front thigh. And add the twist, right elbow to the outside of the thigh. Palms together, point left elbow up to the sky. Again, back knee can be down to create 2 stability points, or keep it up, challenge the balance with the twist. Untwist, step back to plank, high plank, low plank. Chaturanga Dandasana, that hover, hug the elbows in, knees or toes, stay with it, and change to cobra. Enjoy the back bend. Downward facing dog. Look to your hands, step or jump to the front end of the yoga mat. Half lift. Forward fold. Lift up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. To get steady and flowing on that river, let's add in sun salutation A here. Lift the arms up. Exhale, fold. Routine, going to things we know, always helpful, at least for me. Half lift. Step back to plank. Lower down, lift the chest. Do downward facing dog. Take in several breaths here in dog pose. Look to your hands, and on an exhale, step or jump, front of the mat, half lift. Forward fold, stand, reach the arms to the sky, palms together, center of the chest. All right, shake it out here. Grab a drink of water, make the adjustments, and you're closing on your mat. All those things that we do. Balance series coming up here. Have a little bit of mat in front of you. Stand in mountain pose. And then kick your right heel to your seat. Can you do this and add chair pose to it? So right heel is still kicking towards your butt, but you bend the left knee and try to sit lower like you're in chair pose. Keep doing this, but now drop your hands all the way down to the floor and make your right leg straight. Kick it straight back behind you. Twisted half moon pose. Keep the right hand down. Lift the left arm to the sky. And then change hands. to do half moon pose. Left hand down. I bet your left leg can go a little straighter now, and lift the right hand up. Lower the right hand back down. Kick your right heel back to your butt. Go more knee to knee. And go back to chair pose. I keep trying to say child's pose. Psychology is telling me something here. It's 2 feet down to the mat and stand all the way back up. You're in mountain pose. Arms back up to the sky. Kick your left heel to your seat. Adho Utkatasana, chair, sit. Bend the right knee. Sit into the thighs a bit. I find this one a rocky flow on the river. It's a little harder. It's asking a lot of stabilization in our hips. Try not to let the right hip slip out to the side. Keep abdomen strong. And then hands go all the way down and kick the left leg straight behind you. Now, in terms of balance, the twisted half moon pose should be a little more doable. Keep the left hand down and the right hand up. And yet everything about the shape is more difficult. Take the rapids and put them also with the easy flow. And then switch sides. Right hand down, right leg likely can go straighter. The balance is harder, but you might feel more familiar with this opening left hand high. So constantly coming back to a hard thing sometimes proves it more doable. Both hands down, pull the left knee into the chest. Let's try to get back into that chair pose, keeping the left leg lifted. Mountain pose, 2 feet, hands down. Take it all in. How are you feeling? How are you doing? One more breath. Now palms together, front of the chest. Bend the knees again like you're in chair pose. Keeping the hands here, pick up and kick the right foot back behind you, much like we started, a warrior 3 variation with hands. And now we're changing things into eagle pose. Pick the right knee up and into your chest as you stand vertical. And across the right leg over the left. It's eagle legs, prayer hands here. Squeeze your right ankle against the left outer calf or tuck the toes behind the calf. Hands stay as is. Go back to warrior 3. Tilt the torso forward. Unwrap and sit the leg back. 2 feet to the ground, chair pose. Stand all the way up. Undoubtedly, something that would have been harder without a month of work in the hips. Let's celebrate that. Second side, bend the knees, sit into the thighs. Warrior 3, hands stay here. Kick the left leg up and back. Nice deep bend in the right knee here. Not trying to straighten the leg. Eagle legs, bring the torso upright, left knee up and into the chest, and then rebend the right knee, cross left leg over. Eagle legs. Breath in, breath out. You've got this, friends. Send it back. Left leg beside the right, 2 feet down. You're in your chair pose. Stand up, mountain pose. Give it a couple of breaths. Lift the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Downward facing dog. Let's start left leg here. Everybody take your left leg up, 3-legged dog. Pull the knee into the chest and hover forward in plank. Hold it. Hold it. And step it forward into your lunge. Triangle pose. Come at it from warrior 2. So spin the back heel down, come all the way up to warrior 2. Keep the stack of shoulders over the hips, straighten the leg. And then think side bend, reach as far as you can to the left. Left hand down, right arm up. Just as open, just as full across shoulders and hips as you had in warrior 2. Excellent. Take one more breath. Come back upright. Rebend the left knee, warrior 2. Set the hands down, step back to plank. We're into that hover, lower, chaturanga, hover, hover, hover. Push back up. Down dog. Yeah, that's not easy. Lift the right leg up. Pull the knee to chest, hover forward. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Keep pulling the right knee up and into your chest, round the upper back, and step it through. Spin the back heel down, warrior 2. Come upright. Straighten the right leg. Reach as far as you can to the right. Now everything is set. You're just changing. One arm down, one arm up. Not having to do an extra reach there. Where do they land? That'll help keep the length of the torso, the openness across the chest and belly. Like the left hand has grabbed hold of a rope to help you up. Rebend the right knee, warrior 2. Cartwheel the hands down, step back to plank. Chaturanga, knees or toes, hover, hover, hover. We're pushing back up, ready, go, up. Push back to child's pose, well-deserved here. Knees down, push back, sit in 2, butt to heels. Let's get into core section, seated on the mat here for a moment. Sit down on your butt, legs out in front of you. Take the hands behind your head. I always use the thumbs along each side of the neck to feel as though they're actually tracing upward. No pressure. But then lean back about a quarter of the way. Feel the engagement below the navel, above the navel. Belly button always in towards the spine. If you feel as though the belly button can't pull in, if it's still pushing out, sit up taller. Stay down lower here as works. Ready? Can you take your feet up too? Ooh, I'm shaking. Stay with it. And then set the feet down, lie onto your back. Nice work there. Bridge pose. Push down into your feet, shoulders, your head, lift your hips up. Interlace the hands. Roll the shoulders one at a time, a little more up and in. From that good base of support, upper arm bones, back of the shoulders, back of the head, lift your hips just a little bit higher. Can you walk your feet closer together? And inner edges of the feet can touch, but you don't have to squeeze your knees all the way in. Maybe you do, but you don't have to. Building bridge, can you heel toe your feet or just sort of cinch them until your legs are straighter out in front of you? Again, don't have to go all the way straight, just a little longer. And then bring it all back in, walk the feet back, widen out, release the hands, lower the hips. Windshield wipers in the legs, let both knees fall to the right and to the left a couple of times. Now sit on your hands for support, feet straight up into the air. Let's all start with the most doable leg raises, one leg at a time. You can stay here or go glue the feet together, 2 feet at a time. Get off at any of these bus stops. The next is slow it down. Go half the pace to lower the legs. Half time to lift. Next hard thing, lift head and shoulders up off of the mat and keep doing your leg raises. Next hard thing, hands behind your head instead of the support under your bum. Stay with your chosen path. About 20 more seconds here. Ride the rapids. And we get to lazy river. Hug the knees into the chest. Give it a little snug. Easy rock from side to side. And let's stand all the way up. So rock yourself towards a seated position. You can use that momentum to come all the way up to standing. Use your hands or don't. Like the standing balance work a little bit before, have a little room out in front of you. And we're going to start much like we did. Arms overhead, kick your right heel towards your seat. Add chair pose to it. Now this time, trace your right hand to try to hold on to the front of your right foot. And then open the knee down and back for dancer pose. So you're taking it through that cycle of motion. Keep holding onto your foot and pull the knee back into your chest. And one more time, open it like dancer pose, kick back and out. From dancer pose, can you lower your left hand down to the ground? You're still holding onto your right foot. Ardha Chandra Chapasanas are half moon shape with the bound foot. Open the hips to the side like in triangle pose. Keep holding onto the right foot as much as you can. And then change again like chair pose. So pull the right knee back in. Oh my goodness, that left hip. Extend the arms out. Stand on 2 feet. Happy that we're back here. Mountain pose. Take a breath in and out. Yep, shake it all out. Let's get into the second side. Left heel can go right in. Bend the knee. Do chair pose with the left heel. Up. Okay, now you're tracing the left hand forward. Your body goes more towards cat curl to try to hold on to the front of the foot. And then kick it back behind you so that you get into dancer pose. I'm leaving the right leg bent the whole time here. Pull knee back into the chest. Dancer pose. If we fall, we just come back, try again. Right hand down to the mat. Again, right knee stays bent to make this offering a little more doable. And then open up. Externally rotate from the bottom hip to make the left hip turn open. Maybe a straighter standing leg here. But then the kicker to it all, we're trying to go back into chair pose with that left leg lifted. So pull back in like you're in cat curl. Release your foot. Keep the heel lifted off of the ground. Chair pose best we can. Ay, ay, ay. 2 feet to the ground. Mountain pose. Give yourself a couple of breaths. Come to the front of your mat. Find your way to Malasana, yogi squat. Again, with just a little bit of room out in front of you. You might recall we've been taking Malasana into Bakasana, or crow or crane pose. Find your squat. I've been using a little bit of bounce here to find my depth these days. And then settle in. Stay with Malasana or give Bakasana a go. Hands down in front. You set your hands like you would in downward facing dog. The physics of such is we got to lift our hips higher. Like a pendulum, if the head is lower, the feet have an easier job of lifting up. One or both feet off of the mat with the knees somewhere above the elbows. Grip the earth underneath the finger pads. And then set the feet back down. Everyone goes back to Malasana, to yogi squat. For balance, hands out in front. Gently sit back into boat pose. Go into that lower canoe shape that we already did, hands behind the head or out to the sides. And lower down, lay onto your back. Woo. Pull the right knee into your chest. Reclined lunge. I often just think of this as half happy baby. So right arm to the inside of the leg, but hold on to the outside of your foot. And a little game of sorts as the foot is trying to push up, the hand is pulling down. From reclined lunge, we go to reclined pigeon pose. So foot towards the left, curl your upper body up so that you can hold on either hand to foot and knee, or wrap under the forearms, or wrap eye of the elbow, the crease of the elbow to foot and knee. Reclined pigeon pose. Figure 4 shape. Place the right ankle against the left knee. Let your head and shoulders rest down. Rethread the arms to hold under the thigh or on front of your shin. And then go back to eagle legs that we did earlier in class. Right leg over the left. Squeeze the right ankle close to the left outer shin. Hands to a T shape. Listen up, we're going both directions. Right leg is on top. I want you to actually take the legs over to the right side first. And then bring the legs across the center and over to the left side. Anytime that cross of the legs is too intense with the addition of the twist, you can unwrap the legs. Bring everything back into the center. Unwrap, knees to chest. Whole sequence on the second side. Hold on to your left leg, send the right leg down. Reclined pigeon, reclined lunge first, left elbow to the inside. Hold on to the outside of your foot. Try to push your foot up and pull your knee down. So if we're working groin on the lifted leg, it's a stretch through the hip flexor of the extended leg. And then we take it over to reclined pigeon. Any of those three grips, hands, forearms, or elbows. Changing the muscular stretch into the outer hip, glutes. More on that with the figure 4 stretch. Pull the right knee into the left ankle. Rethread the arms under the right thigh or on top of the right shin. Cross the left knee all the way over for for eagle legs, arms out to the T shape. Again, we're going kind of the odd direction first. So with the left leg on top, lean the legs to the left. And then up and across to the right side. Sometimes that opposing twist that we don't naturally think to do, combined with this one, are a nice SI, sacroiliac joint adjustment for me. Bring it all back into the center, unwrap, hug your knees into the chest, big squeeze. Bring yourself up to a seated position. Feet together, knees apart. Baddha Konasana, bound angle. You can flap your wings a little bit like a butterfly. And then take easy sit, which is ankles under the knees. And fold forward. From almost an hour of practice, this may or may not do a lot for you, but stick with it for one more breath either way. And then come upright and switch, other leg in front. And fold over. Notice the mostly parallel line here of your leg, so a straight line from knee towards the ankle and hopefully about parallel with the edge of the mat that you're looking at. As much as that was working for you, keep that leg. So for me, it's the left leg. And we'll feed the right leg back behind us, trying to get into a pigeon shape. To go super parallel, shin to front edge of the mat, I'm going to need to put a lot of weight onto the back leg and lift my hips and knee up off of the mat. Can you do the same? Try to keep that line. Knee up as needed, down if possible. Hips as high into the sky as needed. And just hold the position for a moment. And then can you get into your more comfortable pigeon position? Maybe that's already there. For me, it's closing the heel in much closer to the right hip. And then I can come down and over and let the hips go a little lower to the mat. So see those two different pigeon shapes. Keep in that more favorite pigeon shape. Bring the torso upright again. We're taking this right into mermaid. Pull the back heel in. Reach the right hand back. One of the first things that we were talking about on Wednesday when we spent an hour in this pose is making that right arm much more up and open like a rainbow so that we get the full turn in the shoulder, the upper chest, to make that a little easier grip. Heel comes closer in if you want to scrunch it down to the elbow grip. Think hand up to give yourself a pat on the back. Left hand tries to do the same as well. From where you've landed, slowly, safely get your way out. Sit onto your left side. Go back to your easy sit position. This time with the right leg in front, assuming that's your second side. So your second side, extract the back leg so that you're very much concentrating at first on that parallel line of shin to top edge of the mat. And then keeping that, changing the back side of the body and the torso higher. Weight more central. Again, right knee could come up and hover to make that still hold the line. Now carefully switch, heel closer into the hip to find a more comfortable, I would say more doable pigeon pose. Again, maybe yours full parallel is the one that works. No judgments, just finding what works for yourself. Come down, fold onto the forearms. Where can you make this sustainable with a little less effort for a few breaths? And then we'll pick that starting place to come back up to the hands and add the mermaid elements, meaning piece by piece. Maybe your stopping element is that first squeeze of the heel in. Depending on how hydrated you are this morning, you might be getting cramps doing this, and that's not going to work, and you just stay with your regular pigeon. It's just a day in, day out kind of measure. Sometimes that river is rocky on the same spot, that it's calm the next day, right? Lift the left arm up, trace the rainbow, reach back and hold on to the foot, pull the heel closer in. And I catch the big toe side of the foot, but as I pull the heel closer in, wrap the fingers around the toes to point the elbow up towards the sky. All right, I'm going to stop here on the side, but maybe you're still going for it. Elbow to catch hold of the big toe side of the foot. Right hand to the sky as you give yourself a pat on the back with the left fingertips. Do the same with the right. Maybe you find a little bind on one side. And then slowly, carefully unwrap yourself. Sit back onto the right hip and extend your legs straight out in front of you. Give it a little bit of a shake. Lift both arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Last little bit here, friends. Lay down onto your back. For fun, and I do mean for fun, for joy, take either bridge pose or upward facing bow, wheel pose. Which one is going to feed you into these last few moments of practice and help you into the transition of the rest of the day as a bridge pose? You want to go for that full back bend. Do it here. Yogi's choice. Give yourself about 6 to 8 breaths in your chosen belly up back bend. Come as safe out of the pose as possible. When you're ready, really hug, squeeze knees into chest. Lift the head and shoulders up so you get a full body squeeze. Release all the way down. For 2 breaths, take Shavasana. And then after those 2 breaths, do you need to move, shift, change a little more, add in more unwinding? Or are you like, nope, this is good? So digging in a little bit, what do you need? For those that have chosen a little more unwinding, the extra pose, can you now try again? Stillness, release. Keep enough flow that it works for you. As if you're buoyant and floating easily just on top of the river. I have learned to look at life like a river. It constantly flows. There are bumps and rapids. Times you have to put all of your power into keeping your face out of the water long enough to gasp a breath, trying not to get pulverized against the rocks. Then there are calmer days when you drift past lovely scenery, sharing laughter and happiness with the people you love. Life holds all in the river. Slowly now bring attention, awareness back to breath and body together, a little bit of movement. As ready, come back to a seated position. And gather palms together. This symbolizing gratitude to yourself, to each other, gratitude for the practice. As a transition, we'll sing the sound to Om, sing along, listen or tune it out. Empty your breath here. Deep breath in. Namaste.